Friends, let's continue to look at some really interesting places in Sri Lanka. One thing I love is green and outdoors, as you would know from my other videos covering the Caribbean. Here in Sri Lanka, there is lots to take in. For instance, this mountain, this is Adams Peak. And Adams Peak is 7,360 feet tall. So it's about twice the amount of a lot of the mountains right here in the Caribbean. Now, one of the interesting things about Adams Peak is that there is a large hollow human footprint in the side of the mountain, and a lot of religious organizations have come to claim it as the foot of their deity or their special someone in their religion. Now, on one part of Adams Peak is some chains, some large chains, and as historic practitioners have said, Alexander the Great was the one to leave it there as a path to the summit. But why chains? If you know or you have an opinion about that, feel free to talk about it in the comments area. Now, this is Ravana Waterfalls, or Ravana Falls as they call it. It has an 82-foot drop, and when there's of course the wet or rainy season, it flows just like you're seeing it here. However, when it dries, it's not as strong in the dry season. It's also part of a wildlife sanctuary. There's a legend to it. But let's move on to the Lion's Rock. This is like a city that's built on a hill, but the hill is one big rock. And in climbing to it, you meet this great big lion. And that big great lion is why they call it I would like to pronounce it as Sigiriya Lion's Rock. It's around 590 feet high. And at one point, the Buddhists, because you know Sri Lanka is largely a Buddhist-based religious population, the Buddhists had a monastery at the top there. There are a lot of gardens as well on the top. And when I say gardens, different kinds of gardens, not necessarily flowering gardens, but gardens could be different, have different meanings. But the view from there is spectacular. I mean, it's just basically overlooking everything, and what an amazing strategic place to keep a place, against enemies or whatever have you. Just really nice to look at. The other thing that is, of course, part of Sri Lanka is its biodiversity, the animals. You can see a lot of gazelles, buffaloes, and of course you have squirrels, elephants. As a vegan, I just like seeing them roam free though, not being put into any servitude. Of course, there are a lot of hiking trails, places to venture into hilly parts of Sri Lanka. I mean, you could spend all day just climbing and looking. Just like in the Caribbean though, they seem to face a problem with maybe volcanic ash, cloudiness, haze. But when you have older countries like this, and when I say older countries with a far greater history, the eastern side of the world is way older as far as an account of history goes, compared to the western side of the world, which is relatively new. You have a lot more to look at, investigate, and see. This is a lizard, a monitor lizard. and I believe it's from the Guana family. Some of you may know its cousin, which is the Komodo dragon, which is also a monitor lizard. Of course, when you go to Sri Lanka, there are a lot of resorts, places to stay. This is one of them that is rated highly because you could have an event there, like your marriage even, or spend an anniversary or whatever. Everybody claims that the service is fantastic. So what do you think about these interesting green places that you could visit in Sri Lanka? If you know of more interesting places, feel free to talk about it in the comments area and let us know of nice places that are green that we could visit in Sri Lanka. Thanks so much for watching, and please share, like, and let your friends know.